Welcome to Castle Narrated. In this video series, we're taking a look at the deep history of Newcastle and how it connects to the city today. Today's episode explores the rise of New Netherlands and brings us to the context under which the Dutch house was built. Previously under Spanish rule, the Netherlands became independent in 1609, bringing with it a century of immense Dutch influence and trade, through sharing its culture with trading partners and by colonizing other parts of the world. The Dutch Republic would become a leading European power. This period has a complicated legacy. Some remember it for its riches and growth, while others condemn its colonial underpinning, which devastated many populations around the world. For thousands of years, the land now occupied by Newcastle was home to Native American tribes, most recently the Lenape. In 1609, while searching for a northeast passage to Asia, Henry Hudson sailed up what we know today as the Delaware and Hudson Rivers. By 1621, the West India Company was founded and based its operations in New Amsterdam, or modern-day Manhattan. A mercantile class held this colony together, with the colony in fact founded as a company with monopolistic commercial powers. The Dutch claims extended as far south as the land Newcastle now occupies. Despite a short-lived Swedish colony that existed in the Delaware Valley at the time, Fort Cashmere was founded here on the banks of the Delaware River in 1651. After a short conflict, the Dutch conquered New Sweden in 1655, and the settlement near the fort was named New Amstel. In 1664, the Dutch lost their North American claims to the British. This land was later granted to William Penn in 1681, becoming part of the Pennsylvania colony. The settlement was known as Newcastle by this time. Within the English context, and under the proprietorship of the Penn family, the Dutch house was first built circa 1700. This means that the Dutch house was in fact not built during Dutch rule. Nonetheless, the Dutch house contains both Dutch and English building techniques. The house bears this title because it is one of Newcastle's closest links to this long-gone period in its history. It is important to remember that even the former Dutch colony wasn't so Dutch. Due to its multinational founding and the ability of people from many backgrounds to make a life in colonies, Newcastle was already home to people of Dutch, Swedish, Finnish, French, English, Scots-Irish, and other European origins when the Dutch house was built. This is in addition to dispossessed and unfree people living in the area, including the Lenape and enslaved people of African descent, who sadly were not allowed the same tolerance and freedoms as Europeans. While the first person of African descent, Anthony Swart, lived in New Sweden, it was during Dutch rule that slavery began to expand. Although perhaps ordinary for a middle-class home for much of its early existence, what makes the Dutch house so special is its survival through many pivotal moments in Delaware and indeed U.S. history. Stay tuned for future episodes where we look at the history of the Dutch house and how it connects to larger trends in history.